Alright, this is a doozy. This one right here. Dear Matthew, I just graduated from college in December with a bachelor's degree in English. It took me a few months to find a job. Finally, in March, I got a job in my local Macy's department store's executive office as an assistant. I worked there for 2.5 months before quitting when a fellow colleague constantly tortured and made rude comments to me. While my supervisor watched and did nothing, when I brought this to her attention, my supervisor told me I was doing a great job. This made me really happy because I've never worked in this kind of environment before. Soon after my advisor's statement, another one of my colleagues became jealous because my supervisor began assigning me more hours at work than her. Also, my supervisor kept assigning numerous tasks to do within a short time frame. There were days when I was dealing with rude customers, answering phones, paging managers, sending out emails, training people, doing orientation, and handling and processing new hires' paperwork. I'm a fast learner, so I was also asked by my supervisor to train my other co-workers. I did this, but after a while it all started to take a toll on me and my spirit. I was helping and doing the work of others who were getting a paycheck quite higher than my own. I became frustrated and angry with myself because I felt like I was being used. I'm sorry that this is so long and will probably be continuing in the next box. Okay, in the beginning of May, I gave my 2 weeks notice. I thought that the next move would be to go to law school. I always had a passion for creating arguments, being persuasive, and giving speeches. Me too. I've applied to several jobs and have heard nothing. As each day goes by, I am losing hope. I've decided not to go to law school after the prep course I registered was canceled. I don't know what to do. I made the dean's list twice throughout my college career. I rarely went out, had a few friends, and I briefly dated this guy who I was friends with. Actually, our relationship was so short-lived that it probably wouldn't be defined as that. I feel as though I put my life on hold, sacrificed everything, and now I have nothing to show for it. I feel like a big failure. Next weekend is one of my good friends from college's birthday parties, and some of my old roommates and fellow classmates will be there. I contemplated not going because I feel like an even bigger failure in front of these recent grads who will soon be going off to medical school, and some of them have jobs. I know I'm silly for writing long, overly detailed question, which you might not answer. I didn't just say all that so that I wouldn't answer it. But hope you will. Again, I apologize for the length of this and hope that you might respond. You know what I just realized? I don't really know what your question is. Is your question, should you? Oh, and that was signed Kimmy. I think after all that, Kimmy, you forgot to ask me what you really wanted to ask. Ooh, that took 3 minutes to read. Kimmy, you should write books. That's what you should do. Okay, I'm going to assume what you meant was, should I go or what should I do with the rest of my life? I don't think you wasted your time in college. I don't think you put your life on hold. All of these things that happened to you happened because they were supposed to, and because another door is going to open up at some point. You just need to be in the right mind frame to receive this kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Synergy, maybe? I probably sound like I'm doing a whole lot of weed, but I promise on behalf of God, my grandfather, everybody, I don't play with drugs. That's not my thing. Sorry. Anyway, back on course, Kimmy. Kimmy, here's what I'm thinking. Oh, that reminds me of my best friend's wedding. Kimmy, Julia Roberts, Cameron Diaz, love them. I think you should definitely go. I think it would be very inspiring to you to go and talk to your friends, see what they're doing. Not everybody has their life on course. I've been out of college since May of 2009. I definitely intend on going back. I have no idea when. I don't even know what I want to do. I graduated with a degree in communications and a creative writing minor. I would love to go around and be a motivational speaker, give speeches to high schools, colleges, large groups, rallies, things of that nature, do stand-up at some point. Part of me would love to do film work and theater, acting. I've always loved that. That's always been my passion. And I'm going to answer another question that asks about that in the future. Probably later on in this video if I ever answer your question. But I do think that it would behoove you to go to this and talk. Don't feel like a failure. You've accomplished many things in your life. And just because that job didn't work out for you doesn't mean that the next one won't. I promised up and down I would never work in a mall. and that I would not work in retail and not do things that I would consider to be gay, i.e. hair, makeup. Dream the little dream. I want to be a superstar. Yeah, well, we all know what kind of happened with that. So just create a new set of goals that you want to make for yourself and give yourself a reasonable amount of time to do it. If you don't want to go to law school, hey, maybe that's not your calling. Maybe you should go to school for communications. Do you like to cook? Maybe you could go to culinary school. If you like being persuasive, perhaps you could be a professor of literary arts. I mean, works is what I meant to say. I know that so many of my college professors really wanted us to engage in a debate. I mean, that's something that was really cool to me because there are so many different opinions out there, especially in communications. When you have people standing up in your classroom giving speeches on pro-life, pro-choice, gay marriage, no gay marriage, those are just some examples, things that came off the top of my head. To be a blonde or to be a redhead or to keep my natural. Just things like that. It's great to get people's juices going. So there's so many different avenues that you can take with your job, with your career, with your life. Don't be discouraged. This is not the end. It's not the end until you're dead, and even then there's still going to be a lot of work that's going to be left for people to do for you. So just enjoy this moment if you can. Take a breather. Take some time off. You know, do something that you enjoy at this moment in time and work your way up along the way. That's what I've had to do. I started off working at Chick-fil-A. And then, now look at me. I'm fabulous. I don't get Sundays off, but that's okay. Dear Matthew, do you believe in saving yourself for marriage? Big hugs, Jolita. Hey, Jolita again. I remember that name. Actually, yes, I do believe in saving myself for marriage, but I don't think that that's right for everybody. Clearly, we have a lot of people who are engaging in sexual activities outside of marriage. I was a very firm believer in that growing up, and while I'm still a virgin to this day, and proud of it, thank you, I know that if I were to fall in love, you know, in the year 2018, and we weren't married, who knows what might happen. I'm not going to say I'm going to wait until marriage. I am saying right now that I'm going to wait until I fall in love. I'm not just going to give it away to anybody. I mean, if that's your thing, that's totally fine, but that's just not for me. If that's what you want to do for yourself, then that takes someone of great character and strong morale, and I commend you for it. I commend anybody that can do that. But I also love the fact that I have sexually active friends. Girl, I'd be asking them questions all day long. I'm like, I want to know the tricks of the trade before, like, me and hubby are having a little playtime underneath the sheets and moves at the foot of the bed, being like, what is y'all doing? TMI, right? Dear Matthew, do you still want to become famous? This is the question I was telling you about. I'm convinced you would be able to make it big here in Amsterdam. They have so many places for bis, tris, lesbians, gay men, drag queens, etc. It's so cool. They devote special days and big parties to things like that. Would you ever consider visiting Holland and giving a show or something? This is also by Jolita. Jolita, part of me definitely still wants to become famous. And I would have to say that YouTube stardom is a lot different than actual celeb status. While I do get recognized and think that's really cool, and people still know me from the WB, even though I haven't done a makeup tutorial in quite some time, I would like to be famous for the right reasons. I want people to know that I would like to help as many people out there as I possibly can. I would like to make people feel comfortable in their own skin. I mean, of course, I'm still working on myself. My waist size in particular. There's a lot of things that I want to have accomplished. If I don't become famous, again, then that's totally fine. As long as I'm happy, strong-willed, mentally stable, and can pay my bills, then so be it. I would love to have a family. I would love to live a quiet life where basically nobody knows me. And then there's parts of me that's like, I want the whole world to know who I is. And I've always wanted to be at one of those award shows and, you know. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, MTV. On behalf of everybody, I just want to say to all the haters. I'd also like to become a singer so I could put on some badass concerts like Britney Spears, Onyx Hotel type, except I would do my best to sing live. Sorry, Britney. I still love you, but learn to dance like you used to. Hook up. Slay for you. Okay, that's all I got for you. Everybody have a great night. Make your choices. Bye, girl. Bye.